Yo, there's something beautiful about Bearcats basketball. High flying.
There's nothing beautiful about Bearcats basketball right now. That's how far we get into the intro video. Good to be back. Welcome. Part of me wanted, for the content alone, for a UC crown championship and Wes Miller being crowned at center court, confetti falling with 90 people in attendance. Probably would have been more had you could gamble on it. Unfortunately, they couldn't. And him to be standing there, Gus Johnson, center court. Wes, what do you think about the victory? And he says, let me tell you what, I'm not pissed off. It's a great day to be a Bearcat. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that because we had a rematch of like the Big 12, what would have been the Big 12 quarterfinals, losers bracket in Vegas. We flew all the way there. $500K. Excuse me, that's a lot of money. A $50K on the line with a win. And what do the Bearcats do? They lose to the Central Florida Knights, a rival. I don't know if they're a rival to you in basketball, but football for sure. And I don't think many Bearcats fans love the Knights. And they beat us to end the season from hell that we thought was already over. But I felt like I had to come on here and say, portal's open, baby. Portal's open. It's that time of the year. Lock in. Welcome, fellas. Lily, opening thoughts.
I was like upset that we lost to UCF for 2 seconds. And then I feel great right now. This is like, the closure, like sometimes closure is what you need. You got a girlfriend, it's not really going great. And just the moment it's over, you're like, why didn't I do this sooner? Like that, I feel great now. I get to go out with the boys, start looking at new prospects, and here we are, guys.
Niehaus?
Yeah, I hope I don't upset anybody when I say that I was just happy that they lost. I mean, it truly, I'm glad that Lily said it first because everybody can point at him as the one who said it. But I don't want to say I was actively rooting against the team, but we were almost there. I was almost there just because this was a terrible season, Chuck. It had to be over. It had to be over. It was extended a month too long. It was terrible. And we had to watch what we had to watch tonight. But
I wanted them to get at least $15K a piece, though. I mean, I'm fans of the guys as individuals. I wanted them to get some money and to be able to hit up the craps tables and, have themselves a good time. And they don't even get to do that. I mean, truly the season from hell. The season from hell. Gus Johnson on the call didn't know anyone's names. Just did zero prep clearly. What a joke of a tournament. What a joke of a season. Let's run it back, boys. Let's run it back.
It would have been criminal if these UC athletes got NIL money for making the semifinals of the Crown. That is a criminal offense. What was it, 50K just making the semis? I don't know. I don't know even where they get the money to do that. There's about 20 people in the stands. You can't even gamble on it. But yeah, hey, I guess,
Ghost Energy was all over the floor. The Swedish Fish energy drinks and the Sour Patch, and they got protein powder too. A nice up and coming brand. They wanted to get behind something on FS1, and the product was like, I'm not talking the basketball, and the basketball was all right, but the lead up was good. Like the intro video, the shots were beautiful. It was a much more aesthetically pleasing watch than a game on ESPN Plus or even ESPN2 for that matter. Like it was good production. Unfortunately, Villanova would have waited for a rematch, potentially Villanova, winner of Villanova USC, but who cares? No more about the Crown. That's it. I don't want to hear another word about it. Chad, if you say a word, you're gone. I don't want to hear another word about it, Lily. On to portal season. Who do we like right now? The 4 names we showed you a couple days ago. Tyree Bryan from Santa Clara, 10 points per game, 43% from 3. He's near the top of my wish list for someone that slept on a little. Jalen Sellers, a couple of years ago, averaged 16 at UCF. Cam Kraft, formerly of Xavier, of Miami, doubtful. And then Sincere Harris, who's averaged 6 and 4, but really scrappy guard, good defender, one of the better ones in the Big 12. And then Sean Abayev, of course, coming in after knocking down some threes at the McDonald's All-American game. But that's where we stand right now. We don't talk about the past. It's over. It was fun. It's on to the future. Lily, how do you feel about where we stand? The internal optimist. I mean, I'm disgusted with everything that I have to watch on a given night. You represent the C, baby. That's what you do.
I thought we were going to break down pick and roll coverages from this game, Chuck. Like, come on. No, let's talk next year. So me and Chuck have this back and forth right now of how many guys are going to return. Chuck thinks 7 or 8. I'm thinking 5 or 6. And honestly, we're going to see a lot of change regardless. Like, I just refuse to believe we're running it back personally. CMOS and Aziz are gone, so that's a lot right there. I think when we walk into Fifth Third next year, it's going to be one of those, the red sweater vests are going to be very confused when they look down at the roster. Like, who are these guys? Of course, we'll be locked in here. Stay tuned to the YouTube channel all summer. We're going to be posting updates here when guys leave. We might be busy the next couple of days, I think. Just from what I can tell, body language, stuff like that. I really want – I defended CMOS all year. And Skillings. Skillings was my guy. We really need to just completely flip over the wings. Like 2, 3, 4. We need new guys there.
Yes, please.
And I know it's everybody, right? Like Jizzle and Day have their problems. Aziz has his problems. But literally all I'm asking for is something completely different. Like, I need to see something different. I can't – if I walk in and it looks like this again, I'm going to turn into Chuck pretty quick. So that's why I want Sincere Harris. I don't care that he can't shoot. I need somebody that can – guard 3 positions, 4 positions, plays hard. We need like 3 or 4 of those guys, and right now we have 1.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that I'm excited to never see again is good Bearcat, had his days, but Aziz in the middle of the paint today had one from about 4 feet away that he could have just laid it up and in, and he didn't even look for his shot from 4 feet away. Dylan Mitchell from 6 feet away, from 3 feet away. It doesn't matter. Above the rim, he's awesome. That's what he does. But when he can't get above the rim, when he's just a few feet away from the rim, it's clunky. Jizzle James was terrible. I've been Jizzle James's biggest fan. I've said I think you're crazy if you don't think Jizzle James comes back. After today, it was like, I don't know what we'd be missing. I mean, he did not play well the last month of the season, the first month of the season, the second month of the season. He had a stretch where he showed you he was awesome. And I do think that for being a sophomore, if this was old school college basketball, I mean, you're not forcing him out the door. This isn't give me a name here that we Jeremiah Davis. This isn't Jeremiah Davis, right? Like, this guy has some talent. We're bringing him back. And there wasn't a ton today that made me super excited about him. Halveen, we saw him for a little bit today. Like, he doesn't look like he's ever going to be anything unless I don't know. He just doesn't look like he has it. Rayvon, he's scrappy. I like what Rayvon brought to the table, running around, grabbing offensive rebounds, being our foul merchant, sinking, a 10-footer that was very wide open. I do not know why UCF didn't play any defense, but it's a tough watch, man. It's been a tough watch for the large majority of the season. I said for a long time this was a tournament team. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to anything I say ever. That's the moral of this season. That's the moral of the story. That's the moral of this show. I'm just ready to move on. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Let's leave it at that. Lily, the big guy from UNC Wilmington that's visited the program. He's 6'10", I believe, 270 pounds, top 30 in the country in offensive rebounding, something along those lines. You give it to me. He's a good shot blocker. What are we hearing on him? Who's the big that we're getting in here? Because that's the biggest thing to me. You got to be better than Bandego and Page. We'll worry about the guards and the wings when we get to the guards and the wings, but we have a massive issue, and it's that Wes Miller's been here for 4 years. The only decent bigs he's had, Victor Locken, wasn't recruited by him, and that's it. I mean, everyone else he's brought in at the end of the day has proven that they are not high major starting big men, and he's had 4 recruiting cycles to do it.
Yeah, and I think just the roster construction in general has been poor. Last year it was pretty obvious to me. This year I was drinking the Kool-Aid, using hindsight. It's the same thing. These last 2 years have been one long year of shit. And Harlan Obioha, probably butchered it, is the big man Chuck's talking about. He is going, well, I mean, you never know. Supposed to visit after the dead period, which for people who don't know is after the Final Four. It's a little time for coaches to get out and network and go watch the games. There will be recruiting happening there. There will be hiring happening there, but it is a dead period. He should be here one of those first days after. He's going to be visiting Wichita this week before the dead period, and then Texas and Cincinnati after. Other than that, we don't have visits scheduled publicly, but there is interest in like Jalen Sellers, who, if you're plugged in on Discords or Twitter, it seems like he's going to be deciding here pretty soon. And, you know, he hasn't visited here, but he's been to the arena. It's pretty sure he's familiar with our coaching staff. So maybe he's one of those guys you can get without a visit. And then
was he on their bench today?
Harris,
was he on UCF's bench today?
I don't think so. I followed him on Instagram, and he was not at their last game. So unless he flew out for this game, he wasn't.
He'll be there for the semis. He'll be there for the Final Four of the Crown. You bet your sweet ass. You see Nick Lachey was at the game?
Yeah. Nick's there. And our most famous fan, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're going to see names pop up here in the next 48 hours, like probably at a much faster rate than they had before. And I mean, I don't know when our guys are going to leave, but it's going to be soon, right? Like we need to get the ball rolling here. Who's first, Niehaus?
You would think that in the next 30 minutes, Niehaus, we're getting something breaking. Like, right?
I was going to say, I just refreshed Twitter. I think maybe in the next 10 minutes. I think when we're live, we might have somebody hit the portal. Lily, who's
before
first?
The plane?
Before the plane? Might have to. You gotta think it's Arrington Page and Tyler Betsy. Those two are gonna those are the heavy favorites, because Betsy had 2 minutes today. Page hasn't seen the floor since the turn of the calendar year.
Page is the hype man now, isn't he? He's the hype man. He did the too small and the stomp. I'm like, geez, Arrington, you really want
that check.
He wanted that. He was getting that check. Yeah, he did. He didn't. No, he didn't.
No, he certainly did not. And I'm curious what that check is going to look like for him next year, because him choosing UC did nothing but hurt his chances of getting a big check. I don't know if that's him. I don't know if that's Wes, but was not the right decision for him, clearly, because it just got worse and worse as the season went on. But Chuck,
he's a big body, though, and he's got some skill. He could be good at a lower level. I mean, you send him up to Athens, Ohio University, they'll probably welcome him with open arms.
Absolutely. Chuck, I'm a little upset that I had to scrap all my crowd notes. I mean, I took extensive notes on this game.
I did too. I just don't want to talk about it. I thought we were going to win.
I mean, I thought we were going to win. We were going to go give a plea to Wes to give Hudson a birthday crown victory. It's Hudson's birthday on Sunday. I thought we were going to have a championship for him. Happy birthday to Hudson. He's not on tonight's show. He's enjoying a much better night, but no, a terrible game. That's my take on it. Terrible game from Jizzle. We talk about who we want back, who we are fine missing out on. It starts and ends with Day Thomas, for who I would miss next year. And I know that's different from what I said 2 days ago, where I said I would like Day and Jizzle back. And no, not just because Jizzle had one bad game today. I'm like, you know what? See ya. But if he's gone, I wouldn't miss him. I'll put it that way. Day, if he's gone, I would miss Day. I think he's the only single player on this team that I would really, really want back. I had a Twitter argument today in the DMs about Jizzle. Like, I just think his usage was too high this year based on other players, like them not stepping up. So maybe with lower usage, he can be a efficient player next year. But then you watch tonight, again, still the same bad players around him. And it's just tough because, like, he just can't shoot. So,
Dude,
I don't know.
Offense doesn't move. They just don't have that connectivity at all. What's the word that we call them? Connectors. You know, the connectors that just for the Warriors that I cover. You know, it's the Brandon Pajemskis of the world. The guys that can swing it, that can move the ball, that can get into the middle, that can kick it. Like, we don't do any of that. There's no back cuts. It's just a lot of standing around. They try to get in their sets. They get into them too late. You got a black hole in the middle that just can't score the basketball, which is tough. And then your 4-man really can't score the basketball, although he was making some nice plays today. I'll say that about Dylan Mitchell. But there's just a lack of talent. There's a lack of shooting. There's a lack of a roster that makes sense. There's a lack of just about everything right now, except for passion. The fact that we got 358 people watching the post-Crown show, I guess that's when you know it's bad for the Reds. Last I checked, they still hadn't scored a run.
What's it been, 27 innings?
Yeah, I kind of lost count at this point. Maybe we do
8.
Yeah, do a content stunt. We go on top of a building and camp out or something in the cold until the Reds score a run. Or until the Bearcats make an NCAA tournament. Then we may be doing it for the next 700 or something. But Lily, I'm putting you on the spot here. With what you know about our coach, with what you know about our NIL funds, with what you know about what could potentially be coming back next year, do you feel confident entering the offseason, not knowing anything about who we're bringing in, that next season could go a lot better than this year? Talking tournament, the real one.
I don't feel confident about it, but in like compared to other UC fans, I do. Like a lot of people say there's just no chance, burn it down, fire him now, move on, blah, blah, blah. Tons of bad coaches and average coaches, below average, above average coaches make the tournament. It's not that hard. The tournament's huge. Like, it is really not that hard to make it. It's been hard for us lately.
I think that's the issue, Lily. Like, bad coaches make the tournament. It's been 4 years. Wes can't even do it.
And we ran it back with this, you're selling it with continuity. And, we all ate it up.
We ate it up. We were 100% sold. But here's the issue. Our job is not to make the right decisions. It's just to talk out of our ass and, then update our analysis when the analysis hits the brain. And yeah, sure, in the offseason, we liked it. But it's kind of Wes's job to see through it and see the potential flaws that the fans that are drunk on the Kool-Aid that they're giving you don't tend to see. I mean, he saw this every day at practice and sold us in the offseason like this team's coming. You saw the hype videos entering the year. They had Niehaus in the hype videos saying, this is the year. This is it. We're the most talented team we've ever seen. Final Four. And we couldn't even make the Final Four of the Crown.
I was talking about the Crown, Chuck. I mean, this is the year we almost made it. We're about one win away. Oh man, what a joke. Somebody said in the comments that this is the most this is their least favorite Bearcat team of all time. I think this takes the cake. I mean, it was hard for me, somebody who never misses a game, to sit down and spend 2 hours watching this team play in April. And I know it's because it's April and we're playing in the Crown, but I look forward. It's going to be next week and I'm going to be like, get me to November. But this team was just terrible.
I don't have much more to say, fellas.
I don't know.
I'm just waiting for something to break on Twitter so we can break it on the live show. You would think that, by the time they get out of the shower, they're like, all right, it's time to really open this thing up for the fan base, but maybe not.
But to the question about next year and like positivity or whatever, like what's the scenario where people other than me are like somewhat excited, right? Because I'm always going to find a way to be a little optimistic at the minimum. And I think it's do or die. That's always exciting. It really is. It's do or die.
If it blows up, then I've seen the content before. I was on the ground floor when Butch Jones got the firing from Tennessee. I saw that fan base, and sure, it's not going to be Tennessee in Clifton, but we got passionate fans, man, and we won't stand for it. And we will. Look, we heard the boos in Fifth Third Arena this year. It'll be tough next year if they don't figure this out. We got a GM. Here's to hoping good things with him. And here's to thinking that, maybe this Roy Williams protege that everyone seemed to believe in a few years ago just went after the wrong guys, couldn't land the plan A or even the plan B and got too many plan C's. And maybe we go for some plan Bs.
Do you think that like kind of dumbing it down a little like that and just focusing on guys you can get, guys that play hard, like to me, that's the path to being good next year. Like, stop chasing these big names. Like, just get in some Bearcats, and we might make the tournament. Like, it'll at least be prettier. I mean, not prettier to watch, but prettier to what Bearcats fans like to see on the court. And like, to me, if you have guys like that on the roster, you're not going to lose. You're not going to get swept by Kansas State. You're not going to get swept by West Virginia. You're not going to lose to Oklahoma State. Like, that's the fine margins here. If we won those 3 games, we're in the tournament. Like, it feels like we were so far from it because it was a miserable season, but it really, like, call me stubborn, but I really think it's possible next year. I wouldn't put it at like 75%. I'd probably put it at like 30, but I think me putting it at 30 is way higher than most UC fans would right now.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we need more dogs. We don't need no cats. We don't need no meows. You need to be more like a dog. John White says Sean Abayev is the positivity. Keyshawn Tillery won NCAA Player of the Year, whatever that means. It's his prep, won prep Player of the Year, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lily.
Hopefully he wins NCAA Player of the Year next year. That would be nice.
Well, that's the issue is if the positivity is freshman in a do or die season, this is tough. This is not a good spot to be in. We've seen coaches turn things around before with just a completely new roster, an overhaul, sometimes not even necessarily an expensive roster. But we've had 4 opportunities to see this front office, this current iteration of Cincinnati Bearcats basketball, try to change things and mend things and then run it back and figure out what looks like the best version of this program. And unfortunately, every time they've done it, it's gotten a little bit worse. I mean, our biggest win, Illinois, was the first win. You know, it was the first big win.
Yeah, I think the positivity comes from the fact that we're either better or we're going to be looking for a new head coach at this point next year.
Which is exciting, right?
Which is
New
exciting.
Is exciting.
This is the very first year in all 3 of our lives that we are entering the year with a coach firmly on the hot seat. Think about that for a second. We've kind of been lucky, kind of been blessed that we just have been going into the year like either positive, expecting the tournament. Like
Mick going into year 5, I would say, was on the hot seat.
Yeah, probably. But that, we say it every time. Like, it was different then. You had to sit out a year. You had to go after JUCO guys. Like, it's not today's day and age. You're probably right, though. If there was ever a year, it was definitely that one. But that's what I'm looking forward to is like you said, it's do or die. You're either better or we got a coaching search on our hands, boys.
Early front runner for we can't talk coaching yet. They'll clip it when Wes makes the Final Four next year. We don't want that.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'll sacrifice a clip if that means a tournament, if that means a single tournament.
What's the worst case? Like what is the scenario you guys think of where Wes stays, but we're all pissed? Like, is it first 4, win the first 4 game and then lose the second? Also, while losing to Xavier, like, is that it?
What if they didn't make the tournament and kept them?
Oh, come on.
That just can't happen.
We said that this year. I said that before the season, brother. I said before this season, if this Cincinnati Bearcats team, with him running it back and all the hype and preseason top 25, can't make the NCAA tournament, you're kicking them right to the corner.
I think Lily was saying that they're not going to keep him if they miss the tournament. At least I hope that's what Lily's saying. They're not going to keep him.
I can't see any scenario if he misses it that he stays next year. This year it's different because he wasn't on the hot seat before the season, I think. But
he was on my hot seat. But my hot seat doesn't mean anything. The team won 19 to finish the season. I thought they were going to win today, win the next few, and they were going to end the season saying we had 22 wins. We had something to build on going into next year. I believe in this program. No, 19. They don't even get to the 20. I don't know what to say. Unfortunately, this is the first time I've sat up here and I don't know what to say because this loss did not make me feel any type of way. And entering next season, I have no idea what direction you go in terms of who you retain, if you retain anyone, how you're allocating funds. That's an interesting thing to think about. So Wes is bringing Corey Evans in because apparently he believes that he's a genius, and Corey Evans believes that Wes Miller can coach, clearly because he's hopping onto the Titanic. You know, he may get one cocktail before it hits the iceberg and they all go flying. I mean, seriously.
And I don't mean to like drive it even further into the glacier, but like the portal has been kind of rough so far. I feel like now, obviously, they've been playing in the Crown, but like I feel like the talent is not like it's not great this go around. Yet it's a player's market at the moment where some of the numbers that we're hearing for these guys are absolutely absurd. Like it's all leverage is on the players, and there's not top high end guys really to go after. Now, I say that now. I mean, I have no idea. Maybe next year there's a portal guy that ends up being National Player of the Year, right? But it doesn't seem like either the guys we're reaching out to or the guys that are attainable
I want Vihar.
Are going to be the ones that, from Arizona.
I need Vihar.
He would be great.
I need him from Arizona.
He would be great. But outside of him, like, it doesn't seem like there's anybody we can get that's like going to turn the ship around yet.
We need guys. How long has it been since we had a star? We just need to find, like, John Tanji for Wisconsin this year. He was not supposed to be anything. He sat out at Missouri last year, and
none of these guys are like
we need a John Tanji.
We say now there's no one in the portal and it doesn't excite you that much, but I guarantee you we go 365 and look back at it and we'll be like, oh yeah, that guy from Delaware turned out to be a dog, you know? So you just got to find the diamonds in the rough. And as of late, we haven't found them. We reach out to every single person. Like whenever a tweet pops up of John Rothstein saying so-and-so from Notre Dame has hit the portal, these schools have reached out. Cincinnati's usually in there. Xavier's usually in there. We're usually one of like 30 teams. So we're going after legit everyone. The question is, can we land the right players? Because there are guys out there that are cheap, 100%. UC has just never done a good job of getting them in this paid era, which isn't a large sample size.
And to that point, Chuck, in my spreadsheet, I went back and looked at last year's spreadsheet. On this day last year, we had 14 total links. We're at 28 right now. So there's more talking going on, and I think that says a lot about how many openings we're going to have.
Yeah. Hey, fellas, it's no longer in Wes Miller we trust. It's in Corey Evans we trust. The GM may be the most important person entering this program because it was a roster construction issue. Like, who knows if Wes Miller can coach or not? I haven't been fond of the in-game adjustments by any means, but this was a flawed roster. Every roster he's had has been flawed in some sort, and just about every single one starts and finishes with the fact that there were no good big men. This is a program that went from Martin to Maxiel to Hicks to, Octavius Ellis to Gary Clark to Trey Scott to the list goes on and on. There was always a bridge. And in this last 4 years, there has been no bridge. There's just been no bigs. And you can't win basketball games that way with the way that Wes Miller's trying to form an identity. And we better find it. Because as of right now, there's not one name that we're linked to that's big that I'm like, yes, that's the guy. Not a single one. I don't know about you guys if you've seen it.
Identity is the word for the offseason because we don't know what this bullshit was the last 2 years. It has to be very obvious for fans what's going on next year. And with that, you need a team identity, like just something that shows to us that change occurred.
Ross Courtney's stuck in 2019, apparently. Thank you for joining the program, Ross. But he says, SK, Troy Copain, Evans, Clark, Stevenson, Tari Eason. Come on, guys, no stars. None of those guys are Wes Miller guys, you know?
This is Cumberland.
This isn't a program thing, man. Like it's the current state of the Cincinnati Bearcats basketball team. Like it's as simple as that. Like this has been a successful program with any coach in the past 30 years. Now, 2 coaches, I guess you could say. But those 2 coaches had tons of success. And since then, we have not seen much of anything. And that is why we are frustrated, to say the least. And that is why Corey Evans could be a lifeline of some sort, because he's going to be the one that is probably having a bunch of these. I mean, you said, Lily, all of the personnel decision he's making. Is that what you heard, Niehaus?
I don't think it's all, but I do think he's going to be heavily involved. Heavily.
Not the final
and
decision.
he's friends with Wes,
Look,
so I think that they're kind of on the same page.
They're going to
with
do it
stuff,
together. Yeah.
It's a new pair of eyes.
Look, not to single anybody out, but I'm about to single somebody out. Corey Evans is an analytical guy. I'm curious if you watched the game tonight because our star player, Jizzle James, 19 minus 19 plus minus, 4 of 14 from the floor, 0 for 6 from 3. Do you think Corey Evans, as an analytical guy, is going to Wes Miller? He's like, hey, this Jizzle James guy relies on the worst shot in basketball. Maybe, slide that box score for the contract negotiations to start. Because that's what we got going on. We're going to have contract negotiations for the guys returning. I mean, that's the reality of the biz nowadays. So I'm curious what Corey Evans thinks of Jizzle James. Truly.
It's a fascinating point. Like, I want him back. I wanted him back. I want him back. It's the same with all these guys. Like, it changed game to game, truly game to game. It changed for 95% of these guys. And you are relying on Corey Evans to have a nice set of eyes and to know what he's looking at and how it works. Because half of me says, look, we've seen Jizzle James go with that reverse layup that is slick as hell. We've seen him power his way to the bucket. We've seen him back down a little bit and have that turnaround J. Like, we've seen different elements to his game. You have to view it as what he could look like with players around him that do what you are looking to do. And unfortunately, they didn't have that this year. But you're right. When you watch today's game, it didn't look like he had a quick first step. It didn't look like he was truly interested. Like, there wasn't a lot watching it that was like, this is our dog. Let's give him the bag. But if it's the same amount and you can afford him, like, I would love to see Jizzle James back. I mean, I got a T-shirt that says Jizzle on it.
Yeah, and we dog on Wes a lot, obviously, and rightfully so. But outside of the whole Aziz and Dylan Mitchell thing, which really bogged down the offense, and the fact that you literally did not have somebody you can pass the ball into in the post and expect to get a bucket, and they can't stretch the floor either. Like, that is my number one thing about Wes when it came to the roster that kills me. Outside of that, I seriously, I think the guys let him down this year. I think you counted on 2 guys to be absolute stars in CMOS and Dan, and they just weren't. They weren't. And honestly, I feel bad for Wes when it comes to that, because I like Wes. I unfortunately really like Wes. He's a very likable guy, and I'm rooting for him. Obviously, I still want him to win here. I'm excited to see what he can do.
What choice do we have?
I think he was duped. I think he and the fan base were duped. 2 guys that just were absolute no-shows all year long. And, a third guy in Jizzle James who could fill it up, but if he took 25 shots, so I don't know. It's tough.
Players change with, like, who's around them. So, like, that's my thing with Jizzle. Like,
Yeah.
if he's talking to Wes saying, like, I want to fix this here, I get it, Like, I think he has that Bearcat in him, like, much more than some other guys on the team. I would love to see some new guards in here, but at the same time, if that's the guy that wants to try to fix this, whatever, If Wes is willing to risk his career on this guy, I'm in on that. I just need to see a ton of change in other places in that scenario.
Yeah. And that's the word that we're looking at. It's change, it's identity, it's the molding clay. How is Wes Miller's got to get into the lab and figure out what the heck this thing's going to look like. He's got 15 scholarships to work with now. Players should not be an issue. Question is top heavy, in terms of spreading the wealth. What we looking at? About $6 million worth of NIL, we're thinking. Something along those lines. How do you spread it? Who's getting the $2 million bag? Who gets the $500,000? It is so nuanced. It's so nuanced and so strange that a sport that was so taboo with money for so long is now playing in a cash prize tournament in Las Vegas for, $50,000 for a win over Central Florida. Like, truly wild what it's come to this quick. That's my final thought. Truly wild.
I think I'm out. I think I'm out of thoughts. Lily, you're gonna have to save me here. I got nothing else.
Just get the stick meme. Do something. That's what we want. Just do something, Wes.
Thankful the season is over. Ready for these guys to hit the portal, and we're gonna be going live for these portal entries and exits. You know, for the most part, obviously, you know, barring any like 1 a.m. and Ayrton Pages in the portal. I think that one we're not. That one might be a tweet.
I'll wake up.
Follow Bearcat Bunch.
Yeah, I'll get a buzz on my phone and I'll get up and I'll record that thing solo live. Lily, any final thoughts for the way out? Sorry, everyone, for being so toxic today. It was a tough season. It was a long season. I did a lot of these shows. You got to realize when you do the shows, the human aspect. I'm giving up Saturday nights to watch this team and I'm quality control. Like I want this team to be great so bad. And they just have sucked for a long time. Like not even been decent. Like I'm kind of embarrassed at myself that I watch every game bad. But Lily, final thoughts for the road.
My final thoughts are like this is the most miserable season as a Bearcats fan. Like for a mid-30s-year-old or younger, this is easily like with expectation and what we actually saw on the court, miserable.
And an extra month of it.
Yeah, and losing to UCF in a game where you get a paycheck after sums it up. Like that's also UCF was missing players. We weren't. That like there is not a better way to put a bow on this season than what we did tonight.
Truly not. I'm going to leave you with this.
A lot of people, they don't know me as a facilitator. They see me as somebody who just goes and score. But I can play make as well. I love to get my teammates involved. And, me and Coach Wes Miller, we've been talking for a while already about, actions we're going to run, things we're going to do to put me in position to be myself, and help my team win in any way I can.
That was the voice of McDonald's All-American Sean Abayev, some calling the savior of this program, along with a GM, Corey Evans, who Houdini believes is an algorithm. Algorithms sometimes produce the best results. For Eric Lilly, Nick Niehaus, I'm Porter Patrol. This is Chatterbox Bearcats.